a most unhappy choice.
The cellular regeneration and entertainment chamber.
I'm human. I don't have any money. Mint condition, 1951 Willie Mays rookie card. Sold to the blue man in the good shoes. My father's the station commander, by the way.
Of course he is. Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 25 in the cards is over, and it has been since 1997. But we're just getting started here tonight on Live Long in Podcast here on this Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. We are here to talk about this episode, review it. We've all rewatched it, and we are going to break it all down here in 2022. Let's talk about it. First, we got my brother Jeff Mader coming to us from the backyard. Newlywed, by the way, too. Was married on Saturday. Got the ring.
Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on that finger, if you are. Jeff, how are you feeling about Willie Mays baseball cards?
This episode's fun, but Jake is annoying, kind of, this episode.
Right.
We'll get into it.
My father's the station commander, by the way.
I just want to punch him in the face.
I feel like
Hey,
Dog is totally
watch
justified in everything he says to Jake, and Jake is just like a little child. It's like, I must have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means we don't need money.
All right. Let's go back. Let's talk about the rest of our panel. We got Jaemeel Robinson with us tonight. How are you doing tonight, Jaemeel?
I'm all right. This episode is so.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Okay.
As a slip of the finger, guys. I'm pulling everything together.
Okay, you kind of messed up my flow, but I'll start all over again. This episode means a lot to me because I too know about economic, subterfuge, especially when it comes to these babies. I got a lot to talk about.
Yes, a lot of in the commodities,
Yes.
precious different gifts and things that are available. If Quark would say,
It's crammed with valuable items of every description.
right. We got Davan Skelhorn with us, coming right off of his X-Men podcast, I believe. Joining us right after 2 days of solid driving. I've never seen a guy get from Ontario to Nova Scotia and back as quickly as you did.
I was motivated.
Yeah, did you not know that
I'm a soul of orthodoxy tonight. I'm here to
you're
hound your work and plague your existence.
Mm-hmm. You're one of those soulless.
Since you are not in fact working for the soulless minions of orthodoxy,
you could stay there in Nova Scotia, but you know Ontario is yours to discover, Davan.
I know that. Another day, perhaps.
And you feel like you've seen enough?
Yeah. And on that note, our last member of our panel for tonight, we have Kevin Millard.
Hello. And I like this episode, except unlike Jaemeel, I don't collect anything, so I don't really understand it.
You say that with all the stuff behind you.
That Care Bear is just looking at you with side eye.
None of which is mine.
Yeah.
None of which is mine.
Oh, wait. Right, we'll since there's five of us, we'll go like the smaller type screen tonight here, guys. Okay, so guys, we are talking about in the cards, the penultimate episode of season 5, right before this Dominion War kicks off, and the show will never quite be the same because the war basically lasts from the next episode until the very end of the series, when they'll finally sign the Treaty of Bajor. So this is kind of like the tensions are about to boil over and we're about to go. So there's kind of like a nice moment here, I think, in this episode. I didn't realize how much I really loved this episode until I went through it today. I pulled more sound clips than I think I've ever pulled for a single episode. I got the whole thing. Not that we have to play them all. But
He'll try, folks. He'll try.
We'll try. We're going to walk back through this episode. We're going to talk about it. All the good and the bad, if there's any bad to be said. We'll find out what it is. All right, let's jump into the screenshots and talk about this episode. Take the banner down here. Okay, so we start off here with a bit of a depressing scenery here, and that's kind of like the whole idea that Jake's trying to cheer up his dad because the Dominion War is kind of weighing on them all. They're not feeling too good. They got the booze going here. And they kind of mentioned that another starship has been destroyed recently, guys.
So
This rate, we're going to run out of ships.
Well, that's not funny.
It wasn't meant to be.
It's not funny.
the cups, the blue cups, the
Yes.
dollar store Dollarama cups, not very futuristic at all.
No, well, they're antiques, Jaemeel. They're from 20th century dollar stores, and that's and Captain Sisko just happens to be a collector of such things for some bizarre reason. But yeah, they're like, we're gonna run out of ships. Bashir is not having it.
Unless Starfleet Command actually starts doing something about the Dominion threat, the situation's only going to get worse.
What do you want, Julian? A war?
What do you want, Julian? A war? Come on. And Sisko. Oh, sorry. He doesn't want to talk about this. He wants to talk about something else.
What I want is to talk about something else.
So he ends up asking O'Brien. He's like, "Hey, is Kiriyoshi walking yet?" He goes, "No."
No. I love O'Brien's answer. Just no. So moving on.
No. Is this dinner over yet, Captain?
We're not talking about Kiriyoshi here.
He's like, thanks, another failure in my life.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, okay." So they're all kind
Jake
of
was walking
cleaning
at 9 months.
You think he would share something like that? And then Odo also mentions that he hasn't seen this much criminal activity on the station since before the Cardassians pulled out of the station, just at the end of the occupation. Another bad sign, by the way. And that will come.
Leave though, because he's obviously not stopping it if it's continuing to happen.
So wait, the only change isn't his effective working style; it's that the Cardassians left. It's like, that stopped crime. Way to go! Half my job's done.
Yeah, so they don't like that side. They're all feeling pretty down here. So they're all like, okay, let's go. Worf was apparently just sitting over here staring at this thing on the wall for the whole day. Dax isn't present for whatever reason, I guess.
Who is Dax?
Right.
She was a good student, so she wasn't held back for detention.
Yeah, this seems like a punishment dinner almost. Michael Dorn, the director of this episode, and he's not in it very much, but he, with the exception of this, it's a good little gag here they wrote him, where he's just like, "Oh, good, thank you, sir. You've been
I know you don't want to be here, but you have to be here, and they understand each other."
Yeah, Dax is actually his friend, so she didn't have to come.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Jake and Nog were helping clean up here. Jake gives him a nice kiss on the head, Jeff.
Yeah.
Sweet boy.
And then Sisko gets a call that Kai Wynn's about to show up, and he's just like,
Uh-oh.
FML.
So the devil's coming. Okay.
Yeah, the devil's coming. That's how the episode starts off. Nog's like, well, thanks for the great.
Thanks for the invitation, Jake. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Jake's never seen his dad so depressed. Quark shows up, and there's going to be some of the greatest auctions ever.
Haven't you heard? There's going to be an auction of some of the galaxy's rarest and most valuable antiquities.
Rarest and valuable antiquities, everybody. You can make a bid.
You can make a bid with all that latinum you got stashed under your bed. You don't really keep it under your bed.
It's like, please tell me. Lord.
Right, so they start going through the list. Crammed with all the...
It's crammed with valuable items of every description.
But Nog doesn't think so much.
It's all a bunch of junk.
There was like a 24th century Romulan water basin, slightly cracked, I believe was one thing that was
what was the thing that Morn bought?
A painting that was like the inspiration for the flag of the first Martian colonies, apparently. I want to see that flag. Right. But it's why he's reading the list. We hear like the item of note.
A mid-20th century human baseball card.
Normally Nog doesn't say human like that, but he did that time. And that gets Jake's attention.
Mint condition, 1951. Willie Mays rookie card.
Willie Mays rookie card, everybody.
how can anyone like? Is this? It's not even approved to be authentic. What authentic tools did they have to check?
I love that Jameel's coming at this from the collector's point of view.
Yeah. What is its history?
I want to
They
know.
probably come with certificate of authenticity.
From who? Is it CSA approved?
Right.
No.
The FCA.
Who did the grading?
The better question here is can Jake read Ferengi?
I would figure he would
Probably.
with
I
Nog.
would imagine that looks like Japanese to him.
Well, maybe he's able to.
You know, it's like,
He's just looking at the card. He's not really looking at the writing.
Yeah.
This is how I can cheer up my dad. You know how much he loves baseball.
You know how much he loves baseball.
All I have to do is get him this card. How hard can that be?
How hard could it be?
I'm surprised that Quark didn't try to run up the price of it himself, just because he knew how much Jake wanted it. That just seemed like an opportunity for better commissions.
Right. That's Commerce 101, supply and demand. You know,
It might be a bad idea though to extort the station commander's son.
Right. Exactly.
Would you seriously not put it past Quark?
I would.
My father's the station
would have to
commander,
be
by the
very
way.
sneaky.
Yeah. My father's the station commander, by the way. So anyway, so they're going on this mission to get this baseball card. We come back here after the intro, and this whole conversation between Jake and Nog about,
I'm human. I don't have any money.
he doesn't have anybody, guys. Right?
You don't need
It's like he's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with our philosophy.
Yeah.
Hey, watch it. There's nothing wrong with our philosophy. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity. It means we don't need money.
It's not my fault your species decided to abandon currency-based economics in favor of some philosophy of self-enhancement.
Hey, watch it.
Yeah. Don't be messing with it. Hey, watch it.
and it's kind of funny because Nog is the person that's going into Starfleet, which is that whole doctrine. And Jake is the one that doesn't want anything to do with Starfleet, wants to be like a freelance writer.
Right.
And so it's kind of funny that they have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're kind of one's a civilian and one's not, right? Too, right? Free enterprise. Jake can make money, right? Presumably, but he doesn't have any. He's never had to make money, clearly, before. And Nog's like, well, if you don't need money,
If you don't need money, then you certainly don't need mine.
Right.
Sound logic.
yeah. He's not working with him here, but I did love this part where he's like, oh, you're not going to help us, right? Not. He says he has 5 bars of latinum saved up.
Not even for my father. The man who made it possible for you to enter Starfleet Academy.
A little emotional manipulation.
That's not fair. The man who believed in you when no one else would.
Oh, this is so low.
I can't believe you'd rather keep your filthy money locked up in a box under a bed than use it to give him endless moments of happiness.
All right. I'll do it.
Very generous. I'm proud of you. Now let's get that money.
Let's get that money.
Let's get that money.
That I clearly don't need.
I don't have any of my own. It's not like they can put their savings together.
Enlightened philosophy.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, over to to Captain Fisko's office. He's getting ready for for Kai Wynn to show up. It's been a minute since she's been on the show, right? Yeah. I can't remember the last time she was here. Anyway, like Kira's just hating her with her eyes through most of it. Gotta love that part.
You may go now, child.
Shoo. And they have an interesting conversation here between the two of them. Well, it kind of moves around because first they go to the promenade. He mentions that there's like a Bajoran. There was a Bajoran shop down here, like this woman who sold whatever, like knickknacks, and he's like, yeah, she moved to a neutral world, away. I get the implication away from the war, the coming war that's going to be kicking off, and that this is going off. Sisko's like, hey, can you get to the point? a little bit because why are you here? And she explains that the Dominion want to talk to them. They're asking to have a meeting, and she's like, "What do you think about that?" And Cisco's a little bit worried about it.
The Dominion is notorious for its political intrigue.
I have some experience in that area as well.
Understatement of the century.
Yeah. She's looking to I guess she's forming a better relationship with Captain Cisco. They kind of have some ups and downs, but they've come a long way since like the end of season 1, I'd say, these two. And anyway, so Cisco's like, I'm doing whatever I can, be cautious. And
walk with the prophets,
emissary. But he's definitely thinking about things. A lot going on in that Cisco brain, guys.
Oh, you can hear the hawk. Just
over to the auction. They put together an interesting crew of extras for this, I gotta tell you, including a bully in the nice shoes.
Yes.
So they're coming here. There he is. He was
He's a little smug ass look.
Yeah.
Sold to the blue man in the good shoes.
And don't forget, Kevin, that
Remember, all the proceeds from this auction go to the Bajoran War Orphans Fund, minus a modest commission. Think
For
of
those-
those poor, lonely children and how much your latinum will mean to them.
Jesus Christ, Dave. How long are these clips?
sometimes they're longer.
The entire episode you're gonna hear.
To buy all those blankets that are impossible to replicate.
Yeah, all those war orphans. Think about the children. Think about the children. And so the auction continues, and so this is where we get into they actually have the baseball card itself comes out here. I think along with some other items. There's like a Bajoran something or other in there, and some Tellarite shoes. I think date unknown. Perhaps.
Do we ever find out why he buys this box of stuff?
No.
Interesting.
No, and that he spent like what 10. So yeah, the other bidder ends up coming in here, Geiger. At first, there's like this Bajoran Vedic, which will come up later, but ultimately, out of nowhere.
I have a question. Is that the same baseball card that was in the picture originally? Because the picture had it as a portrait, and this one has it landscape.
No, it was I remember it was landscape before.
You sure?
I thought so.
It was just like it was
Yeah.
sort of in this other frame before.
I'll allow it then.
All right, thank you. Anyway, so they're bidding, and Nog's feeling like he can get there. He's like the Vedic's to come out here, but Geiger kind of comes out here. What does he spend, like 10 bars on this card? Which it seems like a lot of money. I don't really know what that means exactly. How much a bar of latinum's worth, but we got
a lot.
Baseball is boring. Why spend 10 bars of latinum on it? That's what Sam wants to know.
To give a man infinite moments of joy.
So, what Dr. Geiger did often happens in the pop game. Does where someone buys a lot of something, right, and then hoping to sell off the pieces for a higher price that he initially paid. So it's like an investment piece. This most recently happened to me when I came back from San Diego. There was a couple pieces I was looking for to find, and it was a Toronto Raptors pop mascot prototype, and I found one, and it was in a lot that was selling for about $600, right?
So yes, right.
So I was trying to get my friend to buy it, right, to get in contact with the person selling it, so that they can, sell off the individual piece for a decent profit, right, and the rest could be sold. Unfortunately, they didn't contact me. It was sold off. And then I had to find the new seller, the new buyer, right? And then make a deal with them.
So you're saying that this guy is like a jerk pop collector?
The person's not a jerk, okay? We don't know his intentions, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that the person's a bad person if they take a lot and then split it up and sell it individually.
Do you think he wants a cellular entertainment and rejuvenation center? Is that what he was going for?
I bet once he had it figured out, he was going to patent it and sell it. He wants to bring immortality to the masses.
He does.
I think he's a Scientologist.
Might be.
Possibly.
Anyway, the bid is 10 bars. They're out of money. They lose this. Jake's pissed, and they move on. And he just leaves. He just comes in, buys this box of junk. Well, the baseball card, I guess. But the other things in it didn't seem worthwhile. Maybe to that extent.
My issue with this situation, though, is they did not communicate with the other bidder and see if they can team up, right, to buy the whole lot and then to take out the piece that they wanted. They just gave up. Quitters don't get what they want.
That's true. He quit. So Jake, he doesn't need any money, but now he does. When he wants to get an item, I guess he could just replicate a baseball card, but it wouldn't be the same.
No, it's made of the same stuff as blankets. It's impossible.
Right. Anyway, so we see this painting here that Bourne ends up buying here. We get a better shot of it on the way out, but he mentions it's for the Martian colonies. What does he say here? Oh, sorry, I went at the wrong scene.
And Sam, yes, baseball is boring. That's why you have to drink a lot of beer to enjoy it.
So about this painting before we move on, a rare example of the 20th century human art form, acrylic on black velvet. This image was the inspiration for the flag of the Martian colonies in the 22nd century, I would imagine. So because that's where he gets cut off. Anyway, so Nog's like, you know what? We don't.
Jake, I think you're taking this whole baseball card thing way too seriously. So let's come up with something else to cheer up your dad, huh? Like a new pair of shoes.
Shoes?
What's wrong with shoes?
Nothing, except it's stupid.
Yeah.
Dave. Thanks for your help, Nog.
Yeah.
Jeff, are shoes stupid?
Or who is what stupid?
Are shoes stupid?
Shoes.
As a means of cheering somebody up. Would giving somebody shoes as a gift cheer them up?
Yes, I think especially if they're a really nice pair of Jordans or something,
Yeah, well, Jake thinks it's stupid, so he's not going for it. He doesn't.
Jake is singular focused this whole episode, and he's talking about. He hasn't been in an episode in like 25 episodes, Dave. He's making this one count.
He is. They gave him a lot in this one.
Cisco doesn't want Jordans though.
Right, and we also know that they're gonna get like Jake and Captain Cisco are going to get separated after this for a while, right? Leading into the next season, because Jake's gonna hang behind on the station during like the Dominion occupation of it. So I think that they were really trying to give like something nice here. I really do like the scene. We see Morn with that Matador painting. Leaving here, and on the way out of the auction, they go after the guy Geiger, Dr. Geiger, who bought the card, among other things, in the little box here. So they want to approach him. They want to get that from him. I know I have the quote here where we see,
I haven't done anything wrong, and I won't be hounded by you and your soulless minions of orthodoxy. I haven't broken any laws, except perhaps the laws of nature. So stay away from me.
Yeah, he's not too friendly initially. He's only breaking the laws of nature, guys.
Yeah, some guy says that to me. I'm staying the hell away from him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be very firm with people who are very aggressive, trying to buy something off you.
Yeah. I do like this actor who plays Geiger. He's really good in this role. I remember him being on Voyager. I think he played. Remember that episode where like B'Elanna Torres ends up with the Vidians and she gets split into a human and a Klingon version of herself? I think he played not only one of the human Voyager crew members who then gets like killed and his face gets taken off, but I think he also played the evil Vidian scientist.
That is correct.
Yeah, he's really good in this.
He was also in Charlie Wilson's Warrior, which is like, when I looked him up, I was like, I know this actor. And I looked him up and I'm like, oh, he's been in this. He's been in like a million things. Like he's been in so many TV shows.
Yeah, no, he works really well in this episode, just playing this kind of like sort of a, what's his name? His name's Brian Markinson is the actor's name. He's been in Supernatural. He's been in tons of stuff. Alien Nation, Voyager, Next Gen.
Babylon 5?
I don't see any Babylon 5 credits.
Oh, so
shit. I gotta run, fellas. It was nice to see your beautiful faces.
Yeah.
Oh, can we get a rating on this episode from you, Dav?
Oh, is it a 9 or a 10? Oh, I'll get off
9.5.
Yeah.
9.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Well, all right. Thanks for being with us, Davan. Sorry.
Yeah, man. I forgot to do some stuff, and I gotta go do it now before it gets too late.
No worries. Okay. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be well.
All right. So the initial approach on Geiger doesn't work, so they're defeated again. This is where the Dominion shows up, guys, into the episode. That big Dominion ship docking here. Cisco, not impressed. And
Change.
yeah, Wei-Yoon.
How delightful. You feel comfortable enough around me to make jokes. I'm so pleased to see our relationship evolving beyond the stale adversarial stage.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Wei-Yoon, oh my God, steals the show all the time here, you know.
Before you twist that into a compliment, let me be blunt. I don't like the Dominion, I don't like what it stands for, and I don't like you. So let's dispense with the hollow pleasantries and stick to business.
Oh, yeah. And he goes,
I can tell you how it pains me to hear you say that. You see, I really like Deep Space Nine, and I like you.
I like you. Anyway, they're like, let's go. So he's going to have the meeting with Kai Wynn. We come over here. Jake's feeling sorry for himself. Nog approaches. He's like, good news. We got the meeting with Geiger. Let's go. We got to meet him in like 10 minutes or something. So they rush off here. They go over to Geiger's quarters and they have the meeting. And we get to see his like little quarters / laboratory here with all this different equipment. I think this is just a redress of Odo's quarters, actually. And we see like the little cellular entertainment center and Geiger himself, and he's like, since you
are not in fact working for the soulless minions of orthodoxy,
you can help me. He kind of says, well, maybe you can help me find some things. You want the baseball card without the original packaging or chewing gum, Jaemeel, that is mentioned. So
it's an out of box situation.
Out of pack. Can it be considered mint condition? I think is the real question here.
Sure. You could still be mint condition out of the box, especially for baseball cards. Baseball cards is different. You have to take it out of the package to see what it is.
Otherwise, the package, you don't know what's inside the package.
Right.
Unless you had some kind of X-ray machine. So, anyway, all right. Well, that he says, I need this list. He basically gives them this whole list of things he's willing to trade the card for, different supplies. He figures that they have access to things that he doesn't. He's kind of correct about that. It's a long list. It seems to be mostly harmless stuff, but from what we can tell. But Nog wants an explanation. He wants to know, what are you going to do with this stuff? And he's like, oh, let me tell you.
let me ask you both a simple question. Do you want to die?
No.
Not really.
Of course you don't, so why should you?
Why should you die, guys?
Death is nothing more than the result of cellular boredom. Think about it. The cells in your body have been doing the same job. The same dull, monotonous routine every day since you were conceived. Metabolize, divide, metabolize, divide. Wouldn't you get bored? Of course you would. So at some point, the cells just say that's it. And you, the unwary victim of cellular ennui, are quite literally bored to death.
The unwitting victim of cellular ennui, guys. Wow.
I would love if they really did figure out a way to make us immortal, and this was the way. Like, if it turned out that it really was just our cells getting bored. You're like, I'm not really feeling doing this anymore.
They have to have a consciousness to be bored, but yeah, like I understand the thing. So he was like, he's nearly after all of his work and being run out of the scientific community, guys. He has
the cellular regeneration and entertainment chamber.
I think he's more likely to make himself old quicker.
Maybe. Could be.
It is specially designed to transmit biogenic energy on a chromoelectric wavelength and send uplifting and entertaining messages to the nuclei of every cell in your body.
There's a wrestler.
He's not making his hair follicles stay
entertained.
alive, that's for sure.
There's a wrestler named Max Dupree who talks exactly like that about how his maximum male models will entice and engorge the cockles, right?
Right.
And I just love Geiger's explanation.
I do love this character and the way they wrote him. Just somehow he had 10 bars of latinum. So I get the feel like this guy's just a rich, crazy man or something. Right? But he seems like he's just a human too. So I thought we didn't need money, us humans. He seems to have some. Anyway, so they talk about it. They're like, I don't know. This seems like kind of far out there, but who cares? We need the baseball card. Let's just kind of go through with it, right? So they go to make the deal. No handshakes, guys.
Do you know how many germs are transmitted by a handshake? You want to kill me?
Yeah, just nod.
But yet he takes the equipment later on and takes the piece of the equipment. He didn't wipe it down. He didn't use gloves or anything like that.
He's not using a mask.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah. Anyway, so they start on this mission. The first guy they go to see is O'Brien, who they need like a power cell from or something. And he's like, well, that's a kind of a weird power cell you're asking for. It's not exactly standard stuff. I don't really have time to look for it. And this is where Jake's like Nog's like, why don't we just tell him what we're trying to get your dad a baseball card? He's like, no, we can't do that. You know
you can't keep a secret on this station. If I tell the chief, he tells Keiko, Keiko tells Dax.
Keiko tells Dax, you know.
Who is Dax?
Who is Dax?
I mean, he might have a point there.
Yeah.
Oh, they do this every chance they get to show that this station is full of gossips. Like,
right. It's all like, it's a huge station. Well, not huge enough. Right. Anyway, so they're like, when you like, so this is where Nog is teaching Jake some things.
Wouldn't you rather be doing something else right now?
Like being on the holodeck and the kayaks, or would you rather be with your family? No, definitely not that. So he's like, oh, okay, we'll recalibrate this. We'll finish all this work for you, and you can help us find that power cell. He's like, oh yeah, I know what one is. Okay, no problem. So I don't know. They get on to the work here. They go to see Bashir next. Right, and they're like, you know, and Jake's like, Jake tries to learn something.
Wouldn't you rather be doing something else right now?
No, I would rather be doing this, doing his medical research. And he's like, well, isn't there something would make you really happy? You know, you seemed a little down.
I suppose I have been feeling a little down now you come to mention it.
Yeah, right. Like, what would make you happy there? We got a lot of shots here, and he's like, I'll tell you what it is.
Kukalaga.
It's Kukalaga, everybody. You know, you need to get me a Kukalaga. Here it is. Wait, there's
Kukalaga. Lita borrowed him. Said he was cute, but she never brought him back.
A Kuka what?
A kuka
The
what?
hardest part of breaking up is getting back your stuff. Together taught us.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true. And so so this is his dad's girlfriend too, right? Fiance. I think do they not get married in like the very next episode? Rom
Yeah, I
and
think so.
and
Yeah.
Lita? They do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So but Rom's not here either in this episode. He's not present.
Why is she sleeping with Bashir's teddy bear?
She kept it. It's a token, a trophy from her previous relationship.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
She also kept Louis Zimmerman's lab coat. I don't know why. Anyway, so there's this scene here where Nog has to get away the bear from Lita. She grabs his arm as if maybe she thought it was Rom's arm, or maybe she thought it was Bashir's arm. I don't know, but she's not. So
we didn't get a Back to the Future mom.
Step
moment.
Yeah. Anyway, so he gets the bear. We go over here to next. We cut over to Cisco talking to Kai Wynn. They're having some tea up in his office, talking about this proposal. Basically, that the Dominion have proposed a non-aggression pact. Let's go neutral. And he's like, they're trying to separate Bajor from the Federation. And she's like, well, you kind of already did that when you said locusts, they'll destroy Bajor. Bajor must stand on its own. He's like, oh yeah, right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Like, shit, you're right.
He's like, shit, you're right. He's like,
she's interesting in this episode because she has a point, and then in the end she listens to him and does what he asks. It's so out of character for Kai Wynn.
Right. It seems like there's this progress here in their relationship and even in her as a character, but we know that it will she'll pivot back. Don't worry.
This is it.
This is as good as it ever got. And she's like, well, he's like, we're not going to stand by and watch the Dominion conquer Bajor just because you're not a member. Right. And I do like to sing.
Can you promise me that you will not let one Jem'Hadar soldier set foot on Bajor? Can you promise me that you will use your entire fleet to protect our planet, even if it means sacrificing other worlds, like Vulcan, or Andor, or Berengaria, or perhaps even Earth itself?
Yeah, he can't make that promise, guys.
No, gotta protect the gumbo.
That's right.
His father's restaurant.
Yeah, I think she's right. She makes a good. You're right. She makes a good point here. And his advice here is stall. Basically, I don't know. We're not at the moment of crisis quite yet. That's next up. That's next week. So just kind of whatever you gotta do. You gotta meditate. You gotta do whatever. And again, it seems it's odd to me that she's the one sent on this mission when it seems like Shakar should be doing this, right? Because she's she's only going to make a recommendation to Shakar on what to do. She's here as almost like an ambassador.
It shows how much the faith on Bajor really runs things.
How much influence
is still provisional.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That the religion and the clergy have a major say in the affairs. Even though, at one point she wanted to be both. Remember, she wanted to be first minister and Kai together, right? So that would have been insane. Anyway, and they're on the way, and then she grabs his paw here, and he kind of gives her this look he's like, "That's not how you do it. That's not a good paw grab."
She grabbed my paw.
She grabbed his paw. Anyway, they come up and they drop off the first shipment of stuff over here to Geiger. He says, I'm getting a little bored after 5 hours in this silly entertainment center. I got to work on that.
What was he doing in the entertainment center for 5 hours? He was probably watching Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Maybe he was. Because you might be just getting bored because you're sitting in a chamber with no other stimulus. But it's almost like one of those float tanks or sensory deprivation tanks, perhaps. Anyway, he gets one of the things here. Oh, look, it's heating up, guys. He's got lights in the system now. But this is creating a hum. That's it just happens that Weyoun is directly above here with these Jem'Hadars, and they hear all this, and this kind of sets things off. And then they're doing more and more tasks. We got this Klingon opera blasting here. Well, Jake's trying to write a speech for Kira, but he can't hear himself think. Nog is trying to clean out the Klingon operas for resonance or something like that. He's like, I can't hear myself. And he's like, I have to do this. And if I could have just told Worf what I needed this stuff for, he would have just given it to me. He's like, we can't do that. I do love that whole aspect of this episode, that they can't tell anybody what they're really doing.
Not even Worf. Like, even Worf is a gossip.
Even Worf, because Worf would tell Jedzia, and then, we'll all go from there. Right? And he's like, listen. Oh, sorry.
You're right.
Yeah, he's like, listen to the speech I'm writing for Kira.
Thank you for that kind introduction, and thank you for inviting me to address you here tonight. I've always thought it odd that the topic of water reclamation was usually treated as such a dry subject. Is that funny? No.
Pretty apt.
No, and he goes back to Klingon opera. All right, and then it looks like they finally got the last of their little treasure hunt together here. They come in and they find Geiger. He's Gonger. That's not a really good pun. And now what? So they go to see Odo, who's like, well, that's weird. No record of a guy in there. No record. So
how is that possible?
Yeah, did the Jem'Hadar hack the station computers
and erase this dude from existence?
How does he bring that much stuff onto the station?
And there's no record of it.
Odo just, I don't know.
Yeah, Odo is the worst. Just the worst.
Like objectively, he's just like,
He's just so obsessed with Quark that everything else gets by him.
Yeah, and so they start telling him about the cellular regeneration things, and the more they tell him about this Geiger, the less Odo really believes them. And they're just like, he basically throws them out. Nog's worried here,
Do you really think he's going to charge us with filing false reports, obstructing justice, being public nuisances? I can't have that on my academy record.
I think he was just trying to scare us.
Just trying to scare us, but Odo's definitely not looking to do police work.
Exactly. The station commander and a cadet are coming to him and saying something weird is going on, and he's like, "Fuck off!
Fuck off! I'm gonna throw the book at you guys." Right? He sees Kai Wynn here, and that's the Vedic that was bidding on the box earlier, and the conspiracy theories are flying around with Jake now. He's like, I bet Kai Wynn's behind everything. She's the one after this baseball card, and she stole Geiger.
Jake, I'm really starting to worry about you.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, we can do it. Let's go talk to Kai Wynn. She's behind all this. Oh, and there's this other thing he says too. He's like,
come on, where are we going? Let me introduce you to a new human expression. We're going to beard the lion in its den.
Lions, Geigers, bears.
What does it mean to beard a lion in its den? Does anyone know? Is that a human expression I'm familiar with?
I think they had a punchline, right? And they had to figure out a way to get there.
Lions and Geigers and bears, oh my, guys.
Yes.
Nobody said, oh my. They left it hanging.
Yeah.
No.
So unsatisfying.
I think someone does say oh my. Hold on. I'm pretty sure Jake says it at the end of it. Yeah, he does. He whispers it though. Yeah, he does say it.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, it's subtle. And so anyway, we got this. It's interesting to see like Kai Wynn and Weyoun having this scene because I don't think they ever interact after this. This is like their one kind of crossroads. I'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but pretty sure these two never cross paths again. And an interesting like dynamic, I guess, of like two villains, right? Like but they're villainous in different ways, right? They obviously have very different motivations. Like when she gets together later on with Ducat and everything else, like that's a whole different dynamic in itself. He's like, we're a lot
they're
alike.
villains to each other as well as to everyone else. Like,
yeah,
they're not on the same side.
Right. She takes his paw here, but she's like, no, we're nothing alike.
It's so great.
Yeah. And then she runs in here to into the kids.
What is it, my children?
What is it? What is it, my children? Oh, and this is one of my favorite parts of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
You accuse the Kai of burglary and kidnapping?
Idiots.
well, we didn't really accuse anything. It was more. It's like, oh, you applied it.
Are you trying to be funny, cadet? Because I'm not laughing.
No, sir.
And then Jake should go, that's my job.
Yeah, Jake, and so he's like, well, we got drunk at the bar, and that's when we decided to go after the Kai. And I'm like, this is better.
Well, I love too how in this scene, like, Nog is the one that's really scared and Jake's just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah,
Dad.
It's kind of like in Inglourious Bastards where Alderaan's like, yeah, I've been chewed out before. It's no big deal. Like,
yeah.
Whatevs, right? And he's like, "Oh, I'll be fine when we get the card." But
You both are confined to quarters until further notice. Dismissed!
They're dismissed at the end. It's awesome. Just so he wanted everyone at Ops to hear it, right?
He went all in.
He went all in on that. And Nog's just like he's at his wit's end here.
Of course not. If you tell him about the card, he might forgive us. He might even be grateful for all the effort we've gone through just to make him happy. And we certainly don't want that.
Anyway, and as they're going here, then all of a sudden they get beamed away to the Dominion vessel. Uh-oh. And things are looking kind of tense here. We have a commercial in there too, and they're both being held. Weyoun comes in and kind of interrogates them, sort of, what do you know about this Geiger guy? Nothing. We barely know him. They kind of explain everything here. This is where Jake's, my line.
My father's the station commander, by the way.
I know who your father is.
Yeah, Weyoun's just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is something else. Anyway, so Weyoun sends him away he sends the Jem'Hadar away to get Geiger. Geiger shows up and he's like, "You betrayed me to the soulless minions of orthodoxy," and all these things, right? And so they're like, I don't know. Weyoun's like, "You expect me to believe that this guy just happened to be above my quarters and you guys were just happening to meet with all of the senior staff?" And I'm like, how does he know that they met with all the senior staff? Like, they must have a lot of spies on the station. There must be changelings all over the station, right?
Or he's doing his job, unlike the security manager. Head of security.
He's better at station security than Weyoun or than Odo.
They definitely didn't go through the station logs to find that out.
Definitely not. And they talk about the baseball card, and then Jake gives. I was gonna pull the whole speech. That was one thing I ran out of time. But Jake's like, he's a time traveler. That and you make up this crazy lie here. It kind of reminded me of that episode in Little Green Men when Nog makes up this whole elaborate story that we're invading the planet and everything else, and the 1950s humans completely buy it. But here, I thought it was interesting that Weyoun's like, yeah, no, I don't buy your story. I think this is all.
I believe you. Like,
this is all a bunch of crap.
Story.
Yeah. Right. You're just trying to give a thing to your dad, and I don't know whatever happened to Geiger after this. Did him and Weyoun become best friends or something like that? He's like, he's just trying to become immortal. He's like, oh, well, I know something about colorful genetics, etc., etc.
Yeah, I love Weyoun's reaction. It's like, it's intense.
It is.
He's very excited.
Yeah, he is. Where's my wheel?
How delightful.
How delightful. Anyway, it's almost like these two got together at the end or something. Anyway, so we see like there's a captain's log here. I didn't pull the whole clip, but you know, O'Brien's happy. He's away from Keiko, away from the kids. Things are great. You know, he got some kayak time in. Bashir's happy. He's got his teddy bear back, his Kukalaga. Who else?
Kukalaga.
That's right. Well, maybe not Lita. She's not as happy about it because she lost her bear. You know, Kira gave a great dry speech to the water irrigation people. Things are going great for Kira. And I love Worf just loving his Klingon operas here. Do. Yeah. And then he goes to the corners and gets into the center here. I don't know. I felt like this was like the first step towards diplomacy with the Dominion, except the war kicks off next episode.
Before they had more time.
Yeah. Hopefully they should be Geiger the ambassador. And then they give the card here. And guys, every time this ending is just the music that they put on this. They give the card to Dad, you know, to Cisco. Handshake, the hug.
You know what's missing is Cisco picking up and going, "It's a fake."
You would never do that. Anyway. And that's the end of my screenshots for the episode. And so, guys, I just think this is a terrific episode. I think. Jeff, I know you don't like it as much, but what'd you say? Kenny? Okay.
Like what as much?
You don't like it as much as I do.
Like, yeah.
The episode, right?
Yeah, it's not my favorite episode, but I appreciate it. I think it's well written and everything. It's just like Jake basically kind of carries the episode. He's not my favorite character. Cisco's not really in it much either. You know, Nog's good in it. I like him in it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. It's a weird episode though, to be like the penultimate episode before.
I think it makes sense because I think they wanted to have a real nice moment here with Jake and Cisco before they get separated. I think they knew they were going to put them in different camps for the Dominion War.
Right.
Or the start of it, at least. Until from the time they lose the station until the time they retake the station in season 6, right? And so all of that, guys, are you ready for some details discovered by Dave?
Sure.
All right. Did you guys know that the Willie Mays baseball card is from a 1951 Bowman baseball set with, as of 2014, is worth $4,000?
Yes, I did know that.
Right.
It means we don't need money.
Right. Exactly. But back in this time, we do. This is the first Star Trek episode to be directed by Michael Dorn. He directed that Ryza episode on Enterprise, Kevin, that we didn't like as much.
Yeah.
This is better.
Can't all be winners.
Can't all be winners. Jake quotes Captain Picard from First Contact when he says, "We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity." Ronald D. Moore, who worked on that episode as well as First Contact, commented, "I take great glee at mocking my own work." It was some events from Star Trek DS9 Rapture are referenced specifically. Cisco's insistent that Bajor should not join the Federation yet. According to Kai Wynn, it has been 6 months since the events of Rapture. What else we got here, guys? The layout of the A story. Jake and Nog trying to buy a baseball card, but continually being forced to get something in lieu of the card is similar to the B story from Star Trek DS9's Progress, where they are trying to earn Latinum, but keep up ending up with commodities rather than profit.
That's the one. Remember, I said I thought his desk went missing. That's the one where the desk goes missing, is it not?
Yeah.
It's like there's some kind of Ferengi river that they're trying to navigate.
Right. The great. I feel like I know we reviewed that episode years ago now.
Years
been a while. Years ago. But yeah, it seems to have a similar thing. I remember that now. We got we have all these stem bolts. What are we gonna do with the stem bolts and whatever?
Yeah, it's the stem bolt episode.
It's the stem bolt episode. Tiananmen is Mandarin for the Gateway of Heavenly Peace and could refer to one of those gates in the outer walls of the Forbidden City, the ancient palace complex of the Chinese Emperor. But Star Trek Encyclopedia states that it was named after the Tiananmen Square massacre, in which the Chinese military opened fire on a pro-democracy students in 1989. I don't remember that being... Was that even referenced in the episode? I don't even... The computer system Dr. Geiger uses appears to be the same model from the U.S. Excelsior and the Enterprise A in Star Trek The Undiscovered Country. This episode is somewhat unique in Star Trek DS9 insofar as it is only show with a lighthearted, humorous A story and a serious and important B story. Usually those are reversed in most Star Trek episodes.
That's true.
In the original version of the teleplay, Elias Geiger was trying to resurrect his dead wife using just her ear to genetically recreate her. Well, I think maybe the Vortex could have helped him with that.
What
Michael?
A precious vortex would have solved that.
Oh,
Happy New Year!
Oh wait, no, that's not the right one. I thought I had your precious Vortex.
Take us out of your precious vortex.
I know. I thought I hotkeyed that
I thought
one.
you had it.
I know. Hold on.
I jumped on it immediately.
I know I did, and it's going to drive me crazy. Take us out of your precious vortex. Why can I never find that when I want it?
Sorry. I think we lost it.
Yeah, I think the moment has passed.
Yep.
I know, but I won't remember until the next time you bring it up, and then I won't have it then either. All right. Where are we? In the details. The Lions, Geigers, and Bears, Oh My are a play on Lions, Tigers, and Bears from The Wizard of Oz, Oh My. Quark had previously held an auction of items from the Gamma Quadrant in his bar with Vash in the episode Q-less. Dr. Geiger is likely named after the science fiction horror illustrator H.R. Geiger. When Weyoun learns Dr. Geiger is working on a way to become immortal, he replies, "Oh, really? I have a background in, shall we say, creative genetics." This is a reference to the actor Jeffrey Combs' leading role in the cult film The Reanimator.
Yes.
I didn't know that at all. I thought, all right. Dax does not appear in this episode.
Who is Dax?
Who is Dax?
Jeffrey Combs has the distinction of portraying 8 different characters on Star Trek, including Brunt, Weyoun, Shran, Tehran, Kevin McCulhey, Pink, Krem, and a holosuite guest. He is one of only 5 actors to play 7 or more characters in the franchise, including Randall Oglesby, J.G. Hertzler, Vaughn Armstrong, and Thomas Kopachi. Coincidentally, Combs has appeared in on Star Trek in all 4 of those with all 4 of those actors. I'm sorry.
He's another character too. Has that been updated since Lower Decks?
Yeah.
Oh no, there's 5. Yeah, no, I don't think so. There's a 47 reference, guys. One of my favorites. The auction that Jake and Nog are bidding on is number 48. The following item is number 49. This means that the lot that is up for bid when the scenes opens would have been 47, but they didn't say it.
Well, but if you know how numbers work,
yeah, Dave, we've been through this.
Like, is it really a 47 reference if you don't reference it?
Yes.
Well, it was referenced in It's a Secret 47 reference.
Oh,
it's a
boy.
sneaky 47 reference.
It's just so sneaky.
Sneaky.
Morn can be seen leaving the bar with the painting Quark offered for auction just after the baseball card. This is the same painting Quark would inherit in Who Mourns for Morn. That painting's got to come back, guys. It's important.
Cool.
The episode introduced the possibility of a non-aggression pact between Bajor and Dominion. That will exactly happen in the next episode. And despite going missing in this episode, the USS... Oh, that's the ship. Okay, the Tiananmen. That's the ship that they mentioned was destroyed.
Yeah.
Would at some point be recovered by Starfleet, taking part in the first battle of Shantaka a year later. So maybe they didn't get killed, guys. And that's it. It's Starfleet Command. Better start doing something about all this. Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway.
Ratings.
This one, guys, Just give me a second.
Sorry.
Give me a second.
Happy New Year.
Damn it.
You were too slow.
It's August.
No, I know, but I it's complicated. All right.
Almost as complicated as that 47 reference.
It's as complicated as a cellular regeneration center, guys.
Look, when the scene opened, it was 47.
What did Davan give this? 9.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
All right. Jeff, what is this?
Honestly, I'm like an 8 on it.
It gave it a 10. Oh my god.
I'm thinking about going to 11.
Dude, why? Why?
I gave you all the reasons.
Oh Lord.
Throughout the episode.
8.2.
7.
8.5.
All right.
Gave it
Only-
a 10. Come on.
Don't worry. You guys all brought it down to a modest 8.8. So overall, so 7.7 IMDb. This is I really did enjoy this quite a bit. Michael
No
Dorn.
kidding. 10.
It's a 10. It might be an 11. Ronald D. Moore. I like everything Ronald D. Moore does, really. So that's part of it too.
Can we confirm this?
Like, statistically speaking.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Show everything that Ronald D. Moore has done. Let's check it out. Just type it into search, Ronald D. Moore, because he co-wrote, right?
Yeah, well, I have to run the filter.
Filter, and then the where is it? The search. Don't you have
This
a
would
search?
be
The search bar. Just put in the search bar, Ronald D. Moore. Right. So has okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go and let's check.
It didn't work. I'm not set up for this at the moment. This has to. If I had it in like the app, I could do it. But
I challenge that statement. Is what I'm saying. You don't have to prove it now.
Okay, I won't. All right.
Getting Dave all flustered.
I'm like, you're trying to get me to like run Excel filters. I'm like on Google Docs. I don't know how to run those. I'm sorry. And I'm hungry, guys. A little bitchy, to be honest. So I'm gonna close the ratings down.
All right, before we do coming up, I gotta go.
Okay.
Right.
You don't want to.
Wait,
No,
can I
gotta
go
pick up
too before all the reads?
Everyone go. Everyone go.
I'm staying with you, Dave.
Okay. Thank you, Jaemeel. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Yes.
Okay. So
we're wrapping up this episode. What else do we have on the Live Long and Podcast Network?
Well, Jaemeel, on Mondays we have Star Trek Enterprise.
I've enjoyed your company as always.
No!
It appears it is time we said goodbye.
I need to memorize. I need like a cheat sheet for my hotkeys. No, what is it? This faith. Yeah, that's right. Enterprise every Monday with Jody Simpson, Adam Woodward. Last night we were talking about the episode Dawn. We're going to be talking about the episode called Stigma next Monday. That will be September the 5th. Check that out as well. It's going to be great. Of course, we'll be back next week to talk about the finale of season 5 of Star Trek DS9, which is going to be what is the episode called? Actually, it's called Call to Arms. Will be the season 5 finale. We'll be talking about that next week. This Thursday, we'll be talking about Star Trek Lower Decks. I won't be on that podcast, but Davan Skelhorn and Dave Pugsley will be. They'll be talking about the next episode 2 of Star Trek Lower Decks season 3. It's called The Least Dangerous Game.
Yes,
that's coming up. That's coming up this week. We'll have a Star Trek Radio Theater coming up in the near future. As soon as I can plan that out, maybe after Big Brother's over. Speaking of which, let's talk about Super Mario Brothers podcasting. Right now, we're covering Big Brother season 24. Jaemeel and I and Jeff Mader, we're on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, going through episode by episode, reviewing them, talking about them, analyzing them, and breaking everything down over on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, where we talk about shows like Survivor, Big Brother Canada, different things, whatever, different movies and Marvel and different shows. Not as active since the pandemic ended, but definitely it's there, and it's a lot of content you can check out on Super Mario Bros. Podcasting. Trivial Debates as well, our ongoing series where we argue movies, TV, sports, and more. Chris Murphy hosting with Jody Simpson, Davan, and Chris Seymour. We have one in September. Working on that panel. A lot of people were at the wedding. Were like, I want to be on the next one. I want to be on the next one. I was like, I don't have my notepad. I don't really. I don't remember any of this. But I
remember some of it.
Okay. I know that Eamon was one of them. Who wanted to participate next?
And Tilly.
Tilly wants to be on it. Okay. And Davan wants to host. So I think now that I'm thinking out loud, I think I'm starting to remember what this might look like. So we'll get that panel together in the near future. Of course, Davan was on tonight talking about X-Men, the animated series, with his buddy Andre over on X-Rated. Check out that channel. And soon X-Men 97 will be coming out, guys, and they'll be covering that. So I think their goal is they'll talk about all the shows that were made in the 90s, and then they'll actually, the new Marvel content will be coming out in the near future. The Cuters of Trek, of course, you should be checking out. Dave and Davan, of course, covering on Lower Decks this Thursday, but they got their own podcast where they talk about all kinds of different things, musical and trivia and different things over on Locutors of Trek. The Hellbound podcast with Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn every Wednesday, a horror themed podcast. And Let's Talk About Fighting Games, a video game podcast by Sam Jerka, also known as Eamon Mader, along with Super Smash Bros. Seth. And
not a fighting game, but still a game nonetheless.
But there's a fight. Yeah, there's a fight in the game, like the character. We talk about Super Mario World, right?
Yep.
There you go. All right, and with all that, guys, I think we are going to sign off for the evening. Do we have something on end?
No,
we don't. Because I have to get rid of that. Definitely that. Why isn't it that random thing with Venkman? The Happy New Year.
Were you doing Ghostbusters?
I had it for Happy New Year, but I guess all right. So now Now I fixed it, Jaemeel.
Good. Take us out of your precious vortex.
There was a tease, and then you finally got it at the end.
I got it. I was like, I will not be defeated on this vortex hotkey issue. So we have no Happy New Year on that key anymore. All right. Well, we will see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. Thanks for being with us and listening to our thoughts on this episode. We will see you next time here. And here we go.
I've enjoyed your company as always, but it appears it is time we said goodbye.
That's right. We'll see you next time.